Hi. Over the past week, the government has issued a number of guidance documents for employers and employees in various industries. These guidance documents cover all sorts of things from construction, working in shops, restaurants, for people that work in other people's homes and warehouses and factories. These guidance documents are really quite good, and they are well worth you getting hold of them, because these videos and my book Human Resource Management Made Easy are directed at the smaller employer and those employees that work within, so that they can manage better, manage more effectively, and in this case during the coronavirus crisis, manage safely. The emphasis of a lot of what I've said over the past few weeks around the coronavirus has been about employees' responsibility and health and safety in work. So I want to promote these particular documents, these guidance documents from the government, because they are well worth having a look at. Now, in particular, I want to mention something about the common sense that goes with them. And as we've discussed over the past few weeks, we've been quite focused on things like health and safety and well-being in work. And these documents, these guidance documents, are very helpful in those areas. Now, although they're generic in the content for the biggest part of the documents, boilerplate if you like, the advice that's given within that is generic, is good advice in terms of what people should do. One of the first things that it recommends in each of the documents is that we undertake health and safety risk assessments. And it points us to the Health and Safety Executive website, where we as smaller employers can obtain a simple health and safety executive risk assessment form. It's easy to use. It helps you identify any of the issues, what's already been done to mitigate or deal with those issues, what needs to be done, who's responsible, and when that can be done or when that is done. So an easy to use little form that will help you focus on looking at all the issues of health and safety around COVID-19. They also recommend a nice little poster that they've designed, which has 5 points where you can just tick them off as having been done. So point 1 is to have carried out a COVID-19 risk assessment. Point 2 is that you've introduced the cleaning, hand washing, sanitation procedures that are necessary and appropriate to your workplace. Point 3, you've taken all reasonable steps to ensure that people work from home. Now again, we've emphasized this one quite a lot over the past few videos, that where people can work from home, they should be able to work from home. And in the long term, that is going to be good for a lot of businesses, as long as we make sure that the health and safety issues from working from home are addressed, including the mental and emotional well-being of your employees. Point 4, we've taken all reasonable steps to maintain a 2-meter distancing within the workplace. And point 5, where people can't be 2 meters apart, you've introduced safety mechanisms to help ensure their health and safety in that workplace. So these are nice, easy to follow, simple instructions, but they help you focus. They help you focus on what you need to do. Then for each of the different guidance documents, they take you through a number of scenarios that would be more likely to be appropriate to your workplace. In some, again, it's going to be quite generic, but where you can, introduce things like one-way systems. So if you imagine you run a shop, it's a small shop, but you have aisles. So have a one-way system installed in that shop. You've seen this happen with the larger stores like the Tesco's and the Asda's of this world that have these in already. But I've also seen it in medium-sized shops where they don't have the one-way system, which means that people will bump into each other. In a factory or warehouse type operation, the same kind of thing can apply. A one-way system will help minimize contact. Making sure, for instance, in shops, that there's separation that helps maintain your safety. So perspex separators between yourself and the customers will be a good idea. And again, you see these kinds of things being operated in the larger shops. So let's see how we can translate those into our own workplaces wherever we are. The construction industry. A lot of small to medium-sized businesses will operate in construction, and they'll operate from people's homes. For instance, doing maintenance work in people's homes. So there's some good advice given on making sure that when you are going to work in someone's home, you take the precautions in advance, so you find out whether they're in a vulnerable group, whether or not they're self-isolating. If they're self-isolating, then you don't work in that home. If they're in a vulnerable group, then you make sure that the ground rules are established well in advance of you turning up to work in that place. So instead of going into the older person's home who is particularly vulnerable and having them make you a cup of tea, because I know what it's like. As soon as a workman comes into my house, they get offered a cup of tea. Halfway through their work, they get offered a cup of tea. And us older people are prone to doing that kind of thing. So when that happens, make sure that you've got your polite ground rules already set in advance so that you can politely decline all those little transactions. All the little things that need to be done and can be done must be done. And especially if you are employing someone else, because you are responsible as an employer for their health, safety and well-being. So let's stay on top of this kind of thing. Within the other guidance for factories, again, the same kind of thing, making sure that a hand washing regime is in place, making sure the workstations are sanitized frequently, making sure that tools are not shared wherever possible, and if they are shared, that there's a sanitation regime that's in place, so that if I'm passing someone the hammer that I've just used, that it's sanitized before it gets to the other person. All these things, one-way systems, barriers between workstations. If you can't have a 2-meter barrier between people, make sure that you've got other systems in place. Make sure that the PPE is in place. All of these guidances are within the documents that the government has released. And as I say, I am really pleased with the way that they've done this, and the guidance will be of good use to you. Now, should you want that guidance and don't want to go through all the rigmarole of trailing through the Gov.uk website to get them, or the HSE website to get their documents, please feel free to get in touch and I will make sure that you get copies of those documents. My email's in the text that supports this video, and you can get in touch with me anytime you wish on that. I will provide these free of charge. Anything to do with coronavirus, as I've said before, it's free of charge. Now, one final little point, I want to encourage people to subscribe to my YouTube channel, so please take a moment and click the subscription button. Please, if you receive these videos via the Facebook pages, please like and share. That would be greatly appreciated. And should you wish to explore more about ethical human resource management for small to medium-sized companies and charities, and you don't have access to a HR professional, then please feel free to buy my book, Human Resource Management Made Easy, and hopefully that will help you ethically manage throughout the whole life cycle of employment. So thank you for watching this, and I will speak again later in the week on some more current issues around employment, in particular in these difficult times. Cheers. Bye.